This is NTV.
Good afternoon to you and welcome to NTV at One live from the infamous Nithi Bridge right behind me in Tharaka Nithi County, county number 13, where NTV on the Road, the Stronghold edition, is spending a second day. Let's get to the stories making headlines at this hour, and we begin with some positive news. Amidst the gloom brought about by the coronavirus pandemic, Kenyan athletes continue to give us hope and something to cheer about. And the cheer this morning was for Paris Jepchirchir, who shattered the world half marathon record in the Czech Republic. The 26-year-old clocked 1 hour, 5 minutes and 34 seconds at the Prague 21.1-kilometer race, shattering the previous record set by Netzanet Gudeta of Ethiopia after the World Half Marathon Championships 2 years ago in Valencia, Spain. Jep Chirchir broke away from a small field of runners after about 20 minutes at the 16.5 lap course in the Czech capital or Letana Park. In the men's race, 2019 Lille Half Marathon champion Kibiwot Kandie led fellow Kenyans Philemon Kiplimo and Benson Kipruto to a 1-2-3 finish. And congratulations to all those athletes, and of course some good cheer for us as Kenyans. Congratulations to those Kenyans doing their best to put this country on the map really out there. Now let's talk about something that touches closer home, and the government has vowed to uphold press freedom and widen the space for the operation of liberalized media in the country. Speaking during the unveiling of the Nation.Africa brand on Friday, Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i said the freedom and access to information in safeguarding the Constitution and will be respected by the organization and the organs of the state, I should say, and Julian Samboko covered that for us.
The Nation Media Group has opened a new chapter which seeks to cement its digital footprint in an increasingly digitally savvy market. Critical to the success of the new brand is press freedom, something which has often in the past come under intense threat. The government has now committed to uphold press freedom as a step to further strengthen Kenya's democracy.
Nothing, just simply nothing. Not criticism of individual leaders of government, not criticism of government, not criticism of government policy, not divergence of opinion, or even insults will tempt us enough to claw back on the media freedoms that this country has achieved, because that is our way of life.
Matiang'i has urged members of the Fourth Estate to exercise responsibility in their practice, saying that with greater freedom comes greater responsibility.
The debate about human rights, freedom of expression, freedom of media, I want my colleagues who are here from the diplomatic corps to understand, for us in Kenya, that's the debate of the yesteryears. The debate for today and tomorrow is responsibility in exercise of those freedoms and those rights.
The government has, however, called for vigilance over the misuse of mainstream and social media platforms to spread fake news and fan animosity, especially along ethnic and political lines.
Huge gangs of young people are being paid and moved into the blogosphere to now begin what we in the security sector are calling digital vigilante groups that are actually the present day Mungikis and Sungusungus and all this, with the express intention to attack opponents or those who hold different opinions, to annihilate or sometimes cover up the truth.
Nation Media Group, on its part, has committed to remain neutral and bold in its coverage of national and international affairs.
We have endeavored to be a champion of the ordinary person in his or her interaction with the government of the day, a voice of the rule of law, and respect for human rights, and a strong advocate for free market economies and emerging African democracies.
Julian's Amboko, NTV.
Nation.Africa, that's the name you should remember going forward, because we have some great things in store for you going forward as a media company. Now, as plans to impeach Migori Governor Okoth Obado over the allegations of corruption gather pace, the County Assembly Speaker Boaz Okoth now says his life is in danger. Okoth claims he was last night attacked outside his apartment in the presence of ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, but maintains that he's ready to preside over the impeachment motion, I should say, once tabled in the House. Now, last week, the Orange Democratic Movement announced that it would initiate impeachment proceedings against Obado, a move that has since caused anxiety among Obado's supporters and terming it as a political witch hunt.
I'm only a speaker, and I have been sick all this long. I do not debate in the House. I do not vote in the House. I only preside over the House. The level of desperation that I'm now being attacked, and I'm not a party to this is what I want to share with the public. I said I'm a sick person. My leg was grafted. I've been down in pain all this long. When somebody is still doing this to me, I have nothing to do with this, with this debate. Mine is to simply preside, and after presiding, then communicate. That is what is in the law.
From Migori to Nakuru County, where health workers have suspended their strike, which was to begin Monday after they signed a memorandum of understanding with the county government. And speaking during that signing at the Nakuru Level 5 Hospital, KPMDU Secretary General South Rift Branch, Dabji Atela, now says that the strike was suspended until further notice. According to the union, the county government has implemented some of their requests, such as the promotion of doctors, but are still negotiating on the remaining issues. The county government has also committed itself to provide medical cover for all doctors on the payroll.
We've been having a discussion over these matters since Wednesday, Thursday, and today, Friday. And with there are gains that we have experienced from it. I think about 70% of the demands that we wanted from the county have actually been achieved. And given the fact that we have the situation of pandemic, we have decided to agree and suspend the strike effective immediately. And then we have had a memorandum of understanding in which the county has promoted about 104 doctors in job group P, Q, and R, which had not been done for the last 10 years. The shortage of doctors that we've been talking about, the county has committed to employ doctors based on the strategic plan of the 2018-2022.
We will deliver our part of the bargain. After all, the doctors deserve it, and as a responsible government, we will give it to them, and we shall ask of them that we continue with a good working relationship. We have had tremendous improvement in provision of healthcare in Nakuru, courtesy of our healthcare workers, and we wish to do the same.
And to some politics of graft, Jubilee Party Vice Secretary General Caleb Kositani now says that David Murathe should resign as the party's vice chairman, pending his clearance by the investigating agencies over his alleged involvement in the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority scam.
Kwa sababu chama yenye inaongozwa na Mheshimiwa Rais na iko naibu wa rais na ni chama kinachotawala na kina chama iko na absolute majority in all houses. We don't want tainted people. Andika barua kesho, hapana resign ile ya mdomo ile ulitudanganya siku ile. Resign for real, chama iendelee, Ukiwa cleared urudi. Kama hutakuwa cleared, basi my friend, utapatana na ile inapata watu wakishahukumiwa huko kotini.
Now, as the country continues to battle the coronavirus pandemic, it is also faced with a growing problem in the form of teenage pregnancies. Now, many young mothers are left scared and abandoned, but an organization in Nairobi's Kamulu area is providing a safe haven for the new mothers. University student fighting teenage pregnancy, Mwaura, one young woman in Murang'a, has dedicated her time away from school to ensure teenage girls remain in school. And Paris Maina has been holding counseling sessions with the hundreds of teenage girls who have been forced to stay at home because of the coronavirus pandemic. The girls are sensitized on the dangers of teenage sexual activities and drug abuse.
The rising number of pregnancies has been attributed to the closure of schools, which has left children, particularly from vulnerable backgrounds, idle and exposed. With families struggling with financial burdens, many children are forced into sexual exploitation. The Wings of Hope Rescue Home in Kamulu in Nairobi has provided victims with a safe haven.
We basically take these girls in, give them a place they can call home, and be parents to them. We help them through pregnancy. We take them to hospital for delivery at 9 months. Bring them home and just train them to be mothers, because remember they are teenagers, very young, of tender age. This season of COVID-19, we've had so many calls coming in of girls who needs to be rescued. So many girls have been forced into pregnancy, and we've been having so many admissions to do during this season.
The organization says they have surpassed their capacity and are surviving on donations from well-wishers.
I felt this was really the right place to come and support. I do hope that what we have been able to contribute will go a long way towards making even longer-term impact.
Wings of Hope is calling for more support for the young mothers in the form of donations of essential goods such as bedding and food items.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, we go. 1.
Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
And apologies for mixing up those two stories right there. And now we go to the second one. And one young woman in Murang'a County has dedicated her time away from school to ensure teenage girls remain there. Paris Maina has been holding counseling sessions with hundreds of teenage girls who have been forced to stay at home because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The girls are sensitized on the dangers of teenage sexual activities and drug abuse, as Martin Mora now tells us.
Paris Wangari Maina is not your ordinary 22-year-old. At her young age, Paris is the founder of the Save the Teenage Girl, an initiative started to keep girls in school. About 100 girls aged between 12 and 17 years assembled at Kangare Catholic Church in Kegumo, Murang'a County, seeking what could be life-changing advice.
We decided that it is important for us to start this organization so that we can reach out to these teenage girls who are more vulnerable of getting the pregnancy at their earlier stages, to train them on their body changes and their sex and reproductive health.
Paris, together with other volunteers, has toured various counties. She uses her meager resources and occasional donation from friends to ensure she reaches as many girls as possible.
We are also looking at a way of how we can come up with a value chain where we can involve the college girl and the community. They can be like their parents, like the way we had mothers in high school, so they can be like a mentor to them.
Poverty and the forced absence from school has left thousands of teenage girls vulnerable.
Tusaidia sana, tuna promise kufunza wenzetu wenye hawakuweza kuja. Nianze kuambia wasichana ati we are not worthy bad. Mtu anaweza soma atoke domob, si 50 bob pekee. Na 50 bob ni cheap sana. Ukikosa kupewa na mzazi wako, iko church. Kama huku wanapeananga pads, wanakusaidia hadi na soap na ndio anaweza kupea chakula kama hauna.
This is a time to unite, this time to save the community. For instance, the university gentlemen, this is my request I'm making also to the college student. It's not the time to go and waste these young children, these young girls. It's the time we mentor these young girls to become great women in the future.
Local government officials have been given strict instructions to clamp down on perpetrators of the vice, even as parents are challenged to be more keen on what their children are up to.
This thing, it is affecting every child, not only those who come to our churches. So we also look in a way to partnership with other churches and to make sure we have reached both the girl and the boy child.
Teenage pregnancies has always been a problem. The sex education needs to be taught to the children early so that they can also understand the physiological changes that occur in their bodies. They also need to be given the value chain on how they are supposed to grow and transcend from one level to the other.
Every year, about 13,000 Kenyan girls drop out of school due to early pregnancies, and 103 out of every 1,000 births in Kenya are delivered to girls aged between 15 and 19 years. Martin Mora, NTV, Murang'a County.
Now, people living with disability have endured challenging months due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I should say. And 23-year-old Agnes Musenya from Wingi Town has managed to survive the trying times after receiving some cash from the government.
COVID-19 has particularly made it harder for people living with disabilities in the country. 23-year-old Agnes Musenya has lived with disability since birth. The stay-at-home directive back in March left the unemployed young mother struggling to make ends meet.
Nilipata mtoto. Alikuwa tu bado yuko mwezi mmoja hivi. Sasa kati alikuja kukaa hapa nyumbani.
Musenya has completed her computer studies to add on her hairdressing and tailoring skills. Before the pandemic, she could barely provide for her siblings who are now on a forced school break.
Nilikuwa nafanyanga kazi ya manyumba tu. Kuosha nguo, kuosha vyombo. Nikapata pesa ya kumsaidia, lakini saa hii niko nyumbani.
After weeks of struggling, the National Council for Persons with Disabilities started disbursing funds to Kenyans. Musenya is a beneficiary.
Zilisaidia sana. Sasa hakuwa na kitu chochote cha kunisaidia. Sasa akaenda mwingi. Kanifanyia tu kwa shughuli na akakuja.
According to the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, the 500 million shillings kitty will be shared among 520,000 people living with disabilities. 200 million shillings was channeled to more than 33,000 persons with disabilities not benefiting from any government cash transfer program. Each beneficiary received 6,000 shillings. Persons with severe disabilities received 2,000 shillings per month.
We, as a council, we had an arrears of about 13,000 beneficiaries who were missed out during the migration period of the older system to the new system, whereby we paid the 13,000. The money which the president actually gave the council, gave persons with disability. And indeed, let me take this opportunity to thank His Excellency the President, because 200 million was channeled to 33,333 persons with disability. Each and every beneficiary received 6,000.
Apart from the cash transfer programs, the council says it supports people living with disabilities like Musenya to do business.
We provide the LPO financing for persons with disability so that they can do business with the government.
The National Council for Persons with Disabilities further says it is embarking on building partnership in both public and private spheres. Margaret Kimathi, NTV, Kitui County.
Now, Kenya has the potential to boost the mining sector if more focus is given to good governance and policy. This is according to the chairman of the Mineral Rights Board, who says that Kenya's position in the market can be of great advantage to the economy.
Kenya is rich in mineral resources, which include soda ash, granite, and even gold.
which was first discovered in Lolgorian town in Narok in 1892. Despite this, Kenya's mining sector has largely been small-scale. This could, however, change if more priority is given to the sector.
First, we need to have ethical and good governance, and that's a regulatory regime to be able to be competitive to international market. As we know, we have a vibrant artisanal market, although not formalized, but we want to create that also by helping the artisanal miners.
According to Kuria, Kenya's mining sector contributes 10% of the country's GDP, but this could also grow as Kenya's infrastructure and geographical location put it in a good position to capitalize on minerals in the country. The mining sector could also in turn help grow the agriculture sector, as the two both rely on natural resources for production of items such as fertilizer. At the moment, Kenya largely depends on the importation of fertilizer.
Of the cement minerals, we have also others like the steel industry, which is just budding. Of course, in Kenya, we are now at a point where we are considering, should we allow export of some of these raw materials, or should we adopt a new value addition strategy?
The Ministry of Mining is also looking into ways of enacting and fully implementing the new Mining Act of 2016. Gena Kerori, NTV.
From that story, we take a quick short break on NTV at one. But just to explain to you where we are really, like I said, the NTV Bridge, infamous one there, before those guardrails and the kind of refurbishments that were done there were done. It was actually a black spot, and it has been for quite a while as you head on to Meru County and Meru Town on that other end of the road. And of course, you see the meanders there, and that's why it has been dangerous for quite a while. And that's where we are. We are broadcasting from this afternoon. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Do stay with us.
Guy, unajua ukikula supu moja utakuwa na superpowers?
Let me try.
Jiamini.
Wow.
Indomie, now available in chicken, beef, and Supermojo. Supermojo, Jiamini.
That was not my fault. No.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Pants is just for me. It really feels very comfy.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
Guys, unajua ukikula supu moja utakuwa na superpowers?
Let me try.
Jiamini.
Wow.
Indomie, now available in chicken, beef, and Supermojo. Jiamini.
We are Nation, Africa's independent media brand. We are committed to empowering all Africans, from the young to the old, from the curious to the educated, and from the heart of the cities to the rural areas. We are Nation. Join us. Because if you want to get far, you do it together. Nation. Empower Africa.
Welcome back to NTV on the road, live from the NTV Bridge, I should say. This is a Stronghold edition, the NTV Bridge right behind us there, as you can see, from county number 13, Tharaka Nithi, where we are spending our second day. Let's continue with the broadcast. And the World Health Organization says it will never endorse a vaccine that has not been proven as safe and effective amid concerns over the rush to develop a jab for COVID-19. According to the organization, several candidate vaccines for COVID-19 have moved to advanced stages of testing, but a widespread one is not expected until mid-2021.
As to the anti-vax movement, they can build narratives to fight against vaccines, but the track record of vaccines tells its own story. The first priority must be to vaccinate some people in all countries rather than all people in some countries. This is not just a moral imperative and a public health imperative, it's also an economic imperative.
Let's now talk about some sports, in fact more sports, because we began with some positive one. And Olympic champion in the 1500 meters Faith Chepngetich Kipyegon won her second Diamond League event this season in Brussels last night. The 26-year-old won the 1000 meter race after clocking 2 minutes and 29.92 seconds. Chepngetich was attempting to break the world 1000 meters record of 2 minutes and 28.98 seconds set by Russia's double Olympic champion Svetlana Mastrekova in 1996. Esther Guerrero of Spain was second, as Canadian Lindsay Butter on the UEFA Nations League. Lionel Messi now says he will stay at Barcelona, but only because the club's president Josep Maria Bartomeu broke his word to let him leave. Messi's stinging attack of the president there and the club means his future still remains in doubt. Even if he's not allowed to go this summer, the 33-year-old can negotiate with other teams from January of 1st, that is next year, and leave for free when his contract expires in July.
Helped me ever since I got there, the club of my life. I always said that I wanted to end my career here, that I wanted a winning project, that I wanted to keep winning titles with the club and improve the club's legend. But the truth is that it has been a long time since there has been a project or anything at all. They are always juggling and plugging gaps.
And to some more football, and Italy played to a 1-1 draw with Bosnia and Herzegovina at the Atemo Franchi Stadium in the UEFA Nations League Group A1 match. Edin Dzeko put the Bosnia team ahead in the 57th minute before Stefano Sensi leveled for Italy in the 67th minute. Meanwhile, Netherlands beat Poland 1-0 in the Group A1 match played at the Amsterdam Arena. Steven Bergwijn scored the lone goal in the 61st minute. In other results, host Scotland drew 1-1 with Israel. Czech Republic thrashed Slovakia 3-1 as Norway went down 2-1 against Austria. Today, Iceland will take on Story on Bullseye from last night. Just to say thank you so much for your time. And we are still here in Tharaka Nithi County, spending our second day. Tonight we'll be live from just close to Chuka town, outside of where we are, just a few kilometers away from here. Right now at the Nithi Bridge, where we are broadcasting from, as you see there behind me, that road heading on to Meru town and Meru County. And now to Bullseye. My name is Edmond Nyabola, by the way, because you won't see me after this. To describe one Fred Okengo Matiang'i as an eager beaver is perhaps an understatement, but one certain thing is that he's marching on, and so are many others. It's clear that politically, some have swapped paths, all in the name of survival, and the race to survive is also evident in the area of accountability. It's all about who gets ahead, and as Emmanuel Juma now reports on Bullseye, it's important that one keeps walking. Bye-bye.
Be afraid, pretenders.
Good morning, sir.
Fred is going places and is not afraid.
Bila uoga, sisi tuwezi kuogopa kazi tunaifanya.
Mtafuteni mwingine wa kutisha na kushurutisha.
It may be so, William, but when Fred coughs, some catch a cold. Corona or no corona.
Kama ingekuwa jamaa mwingine mimi singekuja.
Hii Kenya iko na sarakasi ya maajabu.
Lakini sasa chairman akisema wewe ni nani useme ingine? Si unaenda mara moja?
Now MK, is that a case of being politically correct or what?
Lakini kwa sababu mimi sio mwanasiasa, wacha nisimamie hapo.
But there is a politician in all of us anyway.
Sisi si wanasiasa.
Nonetheless, he is eating William's lunch.
Matiang'i hajachukua kazi ya mtu fulani.
But even if it was to be true, it would really matter, Fred, would it?
That is why we are appointed to deal with tough things. Vitu kali ndio kazi yetu.
In the meantime, Tobiko has been scanning the environment, and finally, he's found the job description of a deputy president.
Ni karani wa rais. Si ni karani wa rais?
Karani as in clerk?
A deputy president is a clerk who should be a clerk. Assistant to a president.
Yani hawana hata aibu. Ati sasa wananieleza ati mimi ati sijui mambo gani.
And so Fred marches on, and William on his part walks on too, musically.
Katika safari yangu tatembe yana wewe.
Obado too is walking a tightrope. Someone is threatening to stop his music almost permanently.
That is to have the governor of Migori County impeached.
Mbadi did not envisage a situation where Obado would have such tough-talking spokespeople.
It is thus foolhardy for Obado to attempt to cajole and twist facts and seek sympathy by trying to turn this into a case of alleged political witch hunt and not a case of theft as it is.
Uwezi compare na Migori, hakuna infrastructure na Homa Bay.
We assure ODM MCs who have signed the petition to remove Obado from office that the party will stand with them.
It will not go through. Obado alishinda na kura 200 na ghasia. Sio kura hivi hivi.
Obado is trying to divert and seek sympathy from the public.
Bwana Mbadi, hata kwenu mwenyewe njia ya kwenda kwenu hata kuku hawezi fuata.
Help Sifuna, help.
Kama wewe ni mtu ambaye mwenye akili timamu na uwezi kuona kwamba mwalimu kutembea na mtoto wa shule, msichana mdogo wa shule ni ukosefu wa nidhamu, basi kuna shida na wewe. Tayari hata mtu atakatwa hata na msichana yake apewa mimba, akuja aseme bado ndiye amepewa hiyo msichana mimba. Bwana Mbadi, corruption iko tu Migori peke yake. Gavana wa Busia kwa mfano alipopelekwa mahakamani hakufungiwa nje ya ofisi. Kwa hivyo kuna tofauti.
And here he is, free as a bird, celebrating the many development projects he has initiated for the people of Busia. And woe unto you if you dare question that record.
Kuna watu na Nairobi walevi. Wakikuja Busia kule Kawangware anajifikia yeye pia ni mtu. Kutoka hapo anaenda kulala kwa nyumba ya mabati. Anaandika vitu vingine chafu atubusia kuna maendeleo.
Now you know But as far as the COVID-19 millionaires saga goes, we know. Yet, we still don't know, as Manjari continued with his machachari.
Was there any individuals who were forcing you to make some of these decisions outside the board sanctions?
As I said earlier, there was
which peers, and be specific, which peers?
Susan Mochache.
Yes, yes.
There were requests from the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable...
written or by phone call?
Either phone calls, most of them SMSs and phone calls.
Yes.
We did have from the National Emergency Response.
Which CS? It's good you give us names for the record.
We've said Honorable Mutai Kagwe.
Yes.
It is up to an individual. And when you go wrong, then you don't go wrong because the CS told you to go wrong. You go wrong because you're a poor manager.
As a CEO, I did not work under any pressure whatsoever. As I said, I did this with my eyes open.
It is a reality show, and Aisha Jumwa, a suspect in the theft of your money, is also making a movie.
Good morning, all Indians, Kenyans. I'm now off to Port Police as directed by the courts. Nasikia tuko na maneno mengi, yao ameshikwa, mimi sijashikwa. Naenda kama Mkenya ambaye anatii sheria na tuko sawa, tuko sawa. I'm now off. See you guys later.
It's never serious, and they know it. Emmanuel Juma, Bullseye, NTV.